19th January is a black day for every Indian because on this very day in 1990, the mass exodus of Kashmiri Hindus took place from the Srinagar valley. It all started in 1986 when Congress along with Farooq Abdullah rigged the election and won the election, and Farooq Abdullah became Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. At that time, the people of Jammu and Kashmir were very angry with the Congress and Farooq Abdullah, and they started an agitation. Taking advantage of this agitation, Pakistan started recruiting the disgruntled Muslim youths from Jammu and Kashmir and trained them as terrorists. From 1988 to 89, they started training these boys. And on September 14th, 1989, a prominent Hindu leader, Tika Lal Taplu, was assassinated by these terrorists. On 4th of November 1989, Justice Neelakant Ganju, who had delivered a verdict on a hijack and killing done by Makbul Butt in 1984 and issued death sentence to the terrorist, he was gunned down. Neelakant Ganju was gunned down on 4th November 1989. Then came a time, that is January 4th, 1990, a leading Urdu newspaper, there was an advertisement put up. The paper's name was Aftab. An advertisement was put up by Hizbul Mujahideen asking for all the Hindus to leave Kashmir Valley. And from the loudspeakers of the mosques in and around Srinagar, they started shouting, Kashmir mein agar rehna hoga, Allahu Akbar kehna hoga. Yahan kya chalega? Nizam-e-Mustafa. Aasi gacchi Pakistan, batao roste saat batne san. What does it mean? We want Pakistan along with Hindu women, but without their men. This was the slogan which was shouted from the tops of the mosques. And the Hindus were asked to leave the valley. And this started on 19th January 1990, the exodus of Hindus from the valley. Many of the Hindus were killed. Almost 4 lakh Kashmiri Hindus were displaced. They had to leave their own houses, their birthplace, and move to the different parts of India. 500 to 1000 Kashmiri Hindus were killed. Mass killing took place in many places like Nandimarg, Vandama, Prankot. Kashmiri Hindus were gunned down. From 2016, every year we are going to Kashmir, a group of like-minded friends, and we visit every year a place of importance. And we wanted to see this area in the valley of Srinagar, where majority Hindus used to stay. What is the situation now? We were not able to go to that place because of the terrorism in the first few years. But we had this opportunity to visit in 2021, that very place from where the exodus of Hindus took place. A few videos are there to show where you can see those areas of Srinagar where 80% of the population of Hindus were there. Today, you don't even see 1.1% of Hindus. Almost all the houses of Hindus have been either destroyed or illegally occupied by Muslims and Muslim neighbors of the then Hindus. We went into those lanes along with a person who himself has lost a house in that particular area, Dr. Ramesh Razdan. He has a house which has been illegally occupied even today by a Muslim family. And he is trying his best, and the government now is supporting in evacuating all those people or evicting all those people from those illegal occupation. We went to an ashram, Gopinath ashram, near Ganapatiyar. There we could see all the Hindus who have lost their house. From the last 2-3 years they have been visiting there, trying to get back their houses. After the abrogation of the Article 370 and 35A, there is a little bit of ease in moving in and out in this particular area. We went to the Ramakrishna Mission Shivalaya at Karan Nagar, which was the hotbed of terrorism during the 90s. And Swami Veneerananda ji, who is there at present, told us that the Muslim jihadis during that time, they came to the ashram and they wanted to convert the ashram into a mosque, which they could not do. Dear friends, we stayed in Gopinath ashram for 3 days, and early morning at 4 o'clock, hundreds of loudspeakers, we could hear the loud sound of Azam, which would scare even us. Imagine what would have been the status of the Hindus during the 1990s when they were chased out of their house and their mothers and sisters were raped and killed. In the beginning of the 20th century, the population of the Hindus in the Kashmir Valley was around 1 million. Today, it is not even 3 to 4,000. In the 1941 census, 15% of the population constituted Hindus in Srinagar Valley. But today, it is less than 0.1%. The mass exodus of Hindus, which was very meticulously planned by the jihadis along with the support of the ISI and the Pakistanis, have dwindled the number of Hindus living in this part of the world. Very near to Gopinath Ashram, we were able to visit another place called Sheetasthal, where Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS Shaka used to happen during the 90s. A huge ground with the temple has been closed from the last 33 years. This was the place where Sri Lal Krishna Advani, Atal Bihari Vajpayee and many more leaders had visited and attended Shaka during the 90s and the 80s. The ashram where we stayed, we were very happy to hear the sound of bhajans and Vedas being broadcasted over the loudspeaker every day in the early morning as well as in the evenings. Opposite to the Gopinath Ashram, other bank of Jhelum river, there is a Krishna Temple where every morning at 4 o'clock Bhagavad Gita is recited and broadcasted over the loudspeaker. And the same thing is repeated in the evening. This shows the zeal of the Hindu society. We only hope in the coming days, after the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A, the Hindus who are forced to leave the valley will get an opportunity to come back to their places and stay there. And the government also has started a program where all these illegally occupied houses would be over a period of time given back to the original owners. Let us hope in the land of Kashyap, the land where Shankaracharya's feet is there, the land where Shankaracharya walked, Swami Vivekananda visited, once again Hindus get an opportunity to go back and reside and live a respectful life. Thank you.